Hey everybody, welcome to Sorare FP. I'm Alex Hooper, joined by my buddy Keith Jameson, Gator Guy 231. This is
This is
big.
big, Alex. We're back.
This is big. We're back. We're back together.
Would it be appropriate if I said I scoured the Tampa Bay area to find a backdrop with the sign versus just ending up at the first Panera close to me?
No, that's fine. And the show actually sponsored by Panera. At least that's what we're
Oh my
saying.
God. Let's get that going. Let's start getting some revenue, baby.
We got to. We got the logo.
I can buy some limiteds.
There you go. Got to put them together. That Panera sponsorship, it's big. It's limited money.
I mean, I can afford more Mark Williams at this point. One guy that we'll be talking about.
Yes, that is indeed someone we'll be talking about as we break down the trade deadline, a crazy trade deadline, kind of as expected. My Cavs, one of two teams who didn't do anything, so I don't.
But completely okay.
I guess.
Completely okay with it.
I guess.
Completely okay with it.
I
They
didn't
got
want to
Ricky
watch
Rubio back.
I didn't want to watch Karis LeVert anymore, but he has no value, so it doesn't matter. But all right, before we do that though, got some rewards, baby.
Let's start with some rewards, Alex. You know, why don't we give the people a feeling of what it's like to win? I did not win anything. I did not take enough time in my life. So let's see it. Oh, we got 3 comments.
Yeah, baby. Who doesn't love a T5 comment? I thought for sure it was gonna be Terry
No
Taylor.
idea.
No, never.
No idea who that is.
Nope.
That's a cool hair.
Classic T5. Is it Roby? All right.
Is McBucket still there? Or did he get traded?
Yeah, he's there.
Okay. It's kind of weird he didn't get moved. He's kind of weird he didn't get moved.
I know. It's another potential Cavs guy too. All right. Tier 2 common.
Maybe you could spot out. Or something.
Very possible.
That's a good one.
That's a good T2. Nice. Okay.
Especially if Ja gets suspended or anything off of all this craziness.
All the fighting they're doing.
Yeah. All right. So, tier 3. This could be
good. I was tier 2 when I went to bed last night. So this should be a high tier 3. So let's see. Just someone.
I don't know if that's the same as football where it's a good thing. Let's see. Not Kuzma. Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
Why are you shaking?
That's not. No, that it was just like, all right, that's a fine. See, that's a fine.
I literally said not Kuzma because in my head I was like Kuzma probably
T2.
I mean, considering I'm the famous for the multiple Andrew Wiggins tier 2 wins. I mean, Kuzma is better than Andrew Wiggins.
Is he
a 3?
This is my second Kyle Kuzma win as well.
But my thing on like something like Kuzma, and we'll talk about this a little bit. But I love somebody like that on a team. Like he's very versatile, not a guy that gets hurt a lot. And Zinger does get hurt a lot, not very versatile. So when they shut it down, like Zinger will miss a lot. And those are just spots that and Beal, not versatile at all. Right. So you're gonna have some of these alpha Kuzma times. So Kuzma could actually be like a really nice card to have down the stretch.
Yeah, I'm very happy with that. That's a guy who will help my gallery at some point.
You know who else I love? And we'll get into the trades, but you know who another guy that's starting to come to life? Long time me lover of the guy, DeLon Wright.
Oh, he was one of the first cards I bought just because his defensive stats are outliers at the beginning of the season. So I dove into
and he
that.
loves to hit the glass.
Mm-hmm.
Unselfish. Like, dude, like if he drops a triple-double before the end of the year, not shocked.
I wouldn't be shocked either. I love DeLon. All right. Let's see. Let's talk about some trades. We're going to talk about who's affected. We're going to talk about not only like who's going to play more or less on their new team, or like is this player going to benefit or be worse because of the trade. We're going to talk about guys who weren't traded and how they might be affected. So let's see. I'm going to go.
Do I need to wait for our Sorare data show to apologize for now, or should I do it now? I think I'll wait a week.
You can do it now. It depends on how many eyes you want on it.
Did you see the quote, by the way, by the GM? I don't know if it was a joke. I don't know if somebody aggregated it, but it was like, we did not want to throw Na in the deal.
Yeah, I said that to you. It was Utah beat reporter.
Oh, that was you.
Yeah, tweeted that out and was like, I don't know if I believe the person who said this. He's in Minnesota now? We'll start with him.
Yeah.
Is he?
The problem is no. Well, I mean, they did trade other people, but the problem is like Noel is a better version of Na. That's the
Right.
problem.
Right.
It's like one of the only teams I wouldn't want Na to go to because they literally have the irrational confidence guy off the bench that wants a ton of shots.
And he dropped to 65 as he was
Yeah, I
being
mean,
like filling in.
But like the whole problem was is Na stays in Utah and
Right.
he has that exact same like
He just
I'm
he just steps into Sexton's role. Well, that's actually the trade we're going to talk about first.
Okay.
So let's see.
Do you want to bring up the screen too as we do it so I can actually see? There's so many trades. I lost track of a lot of them.
Well, the screen I have going is a bit chaotic, but we can pull it up regardless.
That's fine. No, this is perfect. That's perfect for me.
So we'll start here. Dilo, Beasley, Vanderbilt, they all go to the Lakers. Russ goes to the Jazz. He's going to get bought out.
Yeah, he'll get bought out, and he may or may not even get signed for a little bit. Like, don't be shocked if he's a free agent for a bit of time.
Yeah, I can't see it. The screen is illuminating my face. And then Conley.
Okay, do you want to go, or do you want to? Do you want me to do instant reaction, then you respond, or how do you want to do it, or alternate?
Let me just let's just start with.
You want to start with this one,
guys? Let me just go team by team here. Go. Okay.
Okay. I like it.
So
go ahead. You start.
Dilo. I don't think his role changes a ton. Like, I don't think his output changes a ton. Like, maybe fewer shots, but like he's deferring.
I think it's
more.
less usage.
Is it less? I don't know what his usage was. He's not been on my radar all year. Like
because he shouldn't be, unless his L10 were to drop a ton. But I mean, he was on the ball.
I'm not in the DFS streets, so I don't have to consider guys that I don't have or guys who don't really pop. So like he was neither of those guys, and like he's just going to be the guy who's going to pass the LeBron and AD now and maybe hit a couple threes. But yeah,
the problem I have with Dilo in this role is like he was going to be the primary ball handler, and the only guy that could push him off the ball in Minnesota is Edwards, and they could probably play like hot hands to an extent. And Edwards, I don't watch a lot of T-Wolves, but Edwards isn't at the top of the key with 16 seconds left, like orchestrating the offense.
Yeah.
But that is LeBron.
True. Yeah. So maybe
just naturally there's gonna be less play creating opportunities. Like even just like the kick out pass to an open shooter.
Right.
That easy assist of just a lazy defense. Like if you have the ball less in your hands, you have less opportunity. So I don't think it's good for Russell's server bat.
Do you think maybe his L10 comes down and he's a guy who can more readily outperform it? Like, say he drops down to like a 26 to 28. I
mean, let's put it this way: if I had him, I wouldn't be selling off because all of a sudden, when LeBron does miss the inevitable games,
that's true.
Be really fun.
That's true. Okay, so a good.
But I'm also not going out and seeking him at this point either. Like,
yes, that's fair.
Let him fall in your lap.
I feel kind of the same with Malik Beasley. Like, I'm not selling him, because there are going to be games where LeBron creates, like he is a volume 3-point shooter. I think he'll remain a volume 3-point shooter, but I think he's going to get maybe fewer attempts, but better attempps, if that makes sense. Like, I think
he's better than Lonnie Walker.
Yes. Well, that's the thing is, I mean, this isn't the only move the Lakers made, and I wish I would have pulled something up where I have all the Lakers moves in front of me. I can probably pull up.
It's fine. We'll just hit him. We'll just hit him as we go.
Well, let me try and find their minutes or their rotation really quick, because they played last night, so I can't really estimate it. But boy, the Lakers in general are going to be a little harder to predict. And as much as I want to say like it doesn't matter because it's just going to be LeBron and AD, it will, because it's those secondary guys that end up mattering. Wayne Gabriel, for one, is a guy who's going to step into Thomas Bryant's role. Thomas Bryant got dealt, and there was another move that was made where they said specifically, like,
well, they got Mo Bamba back. Don't forget.
That's true.
They got Mo Bamba back.
That's true. But they want to play Gabriel. Apparently, that is what was said by beat reporters.
Because he's decent. I mean, here's just the reality of what I would say on that too is like, I mean, I think all those guys are just like not anybody that you should have in your lineup unless injuries happen. or you're just kind of hoping and praying. Like, I don't think any of them are going to be any groundbreaking type of things. If you want to predict ADs being out or something like that, then okay, Bamba and Gabriel you can play. But otherwise, you don't really want to go out of your way to play guys that might play 15, 20 minutes. That's
especially
recipe for not winning.
Especially because there's so many guys who do kind of the same thing, and they're like
Exactly.
very
Pick
stacked.
a million.
Yeah. Like
Pick a million guys.
Even looking at this chart with Hachimura and Gabriel and Jared Vanderbilt, and it's just like, none of these guys want to prioritize. All right, I don't want to stay too much longer on the Lakers.
Yeah, let's keep going.
That's a mess.
Mike Conley.
A lesser role, I guess. Like,
I don't think it moves the needle. I don't think there's much silver. I don't think there's much silver to talk about Mike Conley. Nice player. If the Wolves get good, maybe he plays more, but he'll sit out plenty. He's just not. He's a last guy in type of guy.
Less of a chance for him to blow up, though.
I mean, was he blowing up in Minnesota and Utah? He really wasn't.
There were games where he was doing his 20 and 12 thing, and
he can do that, and he can do that in Minnesota too.
Okay.
I think just it might matter a little bit more in Minnesota because they're going to be playing for play-in. So maybe it's a little bit better. Maybe it's a little bit better for Conley, but again, I think if you're counting on Mike Conley for big games in a week, you probably are not on a winning trajectory.
Very fair. Let's talk about this one really quick. Josh Hart to the Knicks.
Love it for real life basketball. Not as great for Sorare basketball.
He doesn't have shooting upside or scoring upside. Nope. Really. He's all rebounds. So
amazing though for the Knicks.
Yes.
Amazing real life move.
Okay.
If nothing else, because Jalen Brunson, the little video was awesome. How excited he was.
Right.
So.
All right. Let's talk about the KD trade. I can't believe I didn't lead with that.
Doesn't matter. It's fine.
So KD to the Suns. He was massive usage at the beginning of the season without Kyrie. He's not going to have insane usage like that.
Nope.
So where would his L10 have to land for you to consider him a great value? And how low 40s? Okay. I was thinking like if he got to a 38, like you're jamming him in. So where do you think it will settle? Like, where do you think he is for the more part of the season than any other spot?
I think he just ends up just churning mid to high 40s. And he's just trying to think of like a good example of a guy that just constantly churns out big games, but not like the huge upsides you want. So you never play him. Trying to think of a good example.
Jalen Brunson's getting there.
Yeah, like if Jalen Brunson was like a 42, he loses a lot of his appeal.
I think that's exactly. I think that's his exact L10 this week, and I'm not really.
But the reason you wouldn't then, if you have one, you wouldn't sell off the KD though too, is because all it takes is for Booker to be out and he'll go off.
Right.
But he's tied. His upside's more tied to Booker than Paul.
Yes.
Because Paul's out, you don't all of a sudden run to KD. Devin Booker's out, you go, KD can have the upside.
Right. I think the main difference for him in Phoenix as opposed to Brooklyn was, in Brooklyn, it was, all right, if Kyrie's out, he's just going to get that extra share. And that was kind of it. Now, like, Go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, like, I would say where you were going, yes, but I think the bigger problem, why I rudely interrupted you there, but was DeAndre Ayton needs his shots.
Right.
He's a $125 million guy.
That's what I was going to say.
Chris Paul does not need his shots, but Chris Paul will find shots.
Yes.
And find parts in the game. But Chris Paul's not a guy that says, I need this. He just knows at some points he has to be a threat to keep doing his role. Devin Booker has to have 20 shots.
Right. You're getting more Warriors KD than you're getting Brooklyn KD or
that's exactly what I was going to say. It really is that Warriors role, which was awesome for life basketball. But like in the DFS streets, which is the best comparable to Sorare at the time, you just never played him. Right. You never played Steph and you never played KD because you just didn't know who would blow up.
Right.
And I think it's going to be the same problem with Booker and KD. As long as their L10s are in that mid 40s to high 40s, you're just like, well, I would just rather have Shea.
Yeah.
I would rather even have Halliburton. I would rather have a Halliburton where I know exactly. Like I just want the most. I don't want the best basketball move. I just want the most stats. So.
And the problem where that divergence is going to start to be troublesome, and I saw it a lot just kind of looking at my gallery and how pretty much everyone I have got traded. I had a bunch of old veterans who went to contenders like Eric Gordon, and like all of a sudden they're not going to be in smash spots, but they are going to run deeper in the playoffs than, I mean, he was with the Rockets.
Right.
I saw a lot of that divergence, and like, yeah, I do. I'm glad I have Dame, but when the playoffs roll around, I would rather have KD because KD is going to go further in the playoffs. But I don't know. It's kind of a trade-off.
And maybe the reality is just like if you just go limited for the playoffs type of thing or something like that. You know,
that's what I kind of ended up doing
because we're at the end of men's.
Yeah, that's kind of what I ended up doing in MLB too. So I figure that's like it's a couple of game weeks. They don't change. Actually, the prize structure was worse in the playoffs for MLB. So like, I'm not going to prioritize it as much as I did. Let's talk about some of those other guys, the guys who went the other way.
Cam Johnson could be really interesting.
I agree. Bridges.
Less interesting. He doesn't do good with good usage.
Yeah. And he was, it sucks. He was such a good fit. The only reason he got dealt is because it's Kevin Durant. Like, if it's
money,
right?
The money.
If there was any other person the Suns were looking at, I don't think Bridges is on the table. But if it's a guy like KD, you have to.
I think Cam Johnson is just interesting because he's the only guy now on Brooklyn that profiles to be able to get you 30.
Yeah. Do you think he's a better?
Oh, Spencer Dinwiddie. I'm sorry, Spencer Dinwiddie. But like,
sure,
that's where the Nets are. They're 1-2 punches. Spencer Dinwiddie and Cam Johnson. It's kind of a little bit of a departure from Kyrie and KD.
A little bit. Do you think Cam is a better short-term play until he catches up to what his L10 eventually will be, or do you think he's a long-term guy who can constantly outperform?
No, I would say short-term until his L10 pops and try to get off of him.
Yeah. Maybe sell them now and capitalize what you can.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't looked at those price charts, but if it's up, I would sell now.
And
I just don't think Brooklyn will be good. I don't think Brooklyn will be good.
Yeah.
And I think if there's a guy that won on Brooklyn, it's Dinwiddie.
Interesting. Yeah,
well, Dinwiddie, his previous net span when the Nets were terrible, like he was putting up massive games and he was just like get me paid type of thing. So I mean, I don't think he's gonna be too thrilled being there. So yeah, let's see. I mean, I will say this about the one thing with the Nets and a little bit off server, but they actually could be like one of those just really interesting team with a lot of good players.
Yeah, if they
where they just could be, but I will say, like, as a Magic fan, the problem with a team with a lot of good players and no star is it does not work night to night. Because the days that, you know, the shooting isn't going or the threes aren't going down, you need that alpha to come and bail everybody out, if that makes any sense.
And that's not Ben Simmons.
It will never be Ben Simmons.
Nick Claxton, better or worse? Mostly just because he's on a worse team.
Worse. It's just worse.
Yeah. He does a lot, but
nobody helps create.
Yeah, he doesn't create his own scoring, so it's going to be a long road down for him probably. Let's see, Jakob Poeltl to Toronto, less usage, but
it's worse for his Sawyer output. Better for him resting less.
That's fair. That's a good way to look at it.
Better for Zach Collins.
Yes. Okay, that's the kind of stuff that I want to try and think of is who's going to benefit for the more one-sided trades where it's not like equal value going back. It's a team selling and opening up a spot. Like,
I throw this? Let me throw this thought out, and only because I just said when I walked in here, I saw the Spurs let go of had 5 guys sit out.
Yes.
I think I'm about to win my auction. Sorry. Real time.
Let me
just give me the good
Blake Wesley.
Oh my God, freaking come on. It went to the end. Sorry, keep going.
Blake Wesley, Malachi Branham, Keita Bates-Chop, Isaiah Roby, Zach Collins, Devontae Graham, Doug McDermott, Stanley Johnson, and Dominic Barlow. That's who's available for the Spurs tonight.
Yeah, sorry, I'm out of my option. So apologies. That was. I hate when it goes to 0 and it doesn't update you, and then all of a sudden there's like 2 other bids, and
Yeah.
you're like, hold on, where did that come from?
Yeah, that's
Okay,
bad.
I was just gonna say in the Spurs. So like, you're just going Spurs are not a bad team to have. Like, what now?
I just went to pull Stanley Johnson off the market and I sold him.
Oh, there you go. Oh, that's how it happens.
Yes.
But it's a really interesting team to have back of the bench guys on, because they are going to just keep Tankapalooza, so to speak. They're full on tank.
Mhm.
That I think that just having some depth from San Antonio, you're going to have a lot of those like quote unquote cheat codes. Like, you just try to get rid of one. But that's going to be a team sourcing a lot of value. I mean, they had 3 real life NBA players. Jakob Pertl. 4. Keldon, who they kept. Keldon, Trey Jones, Josh Richardson. They traded 2, right?
Yes. And Vassell, but he's hurt.
Yeah. So, Vassell's fair. Good point. But I mean, no, like alphas. So I just think there are going to be a lot of guys like they're not going to like Keldon's not going to play a lot down the stretch. Trey Jones probably relaxes a lot. You get a lot of these like Blake Wesley games, Keita Bates-Jope, a couple of the names that you just said. You're going to see some of these random games. The team always used to be Memphis, like down the stretch before the jaw times that Memphis would play 6-7 guys. Like, I think it's going to be the Spurs this year.
Right.
6 guys dressed. Pop's like, I don't actually care anymore. Let's just get to the lottery.
Yeah. Praying his last swing is for Wemby.
I think that'd be great. That'd be cool.
So a part of that Josh Hart deal, Jalen McDaniels goes to the Sixers. That's going to kill his output.
Yep.
I don't know that he'll ever really recover to a playable spot. Honestly, I
would agree.
Sadiq Bey to Atlanta, man.
It just does that. If anything, it's, to me, is a little bit less.
Just, you mean a little
bit? They
did
get rid of
less...
Collins, though, right? They got rid of Collins.
No, Collins stayed again.
He did stay. Yeah. Then okay. Well, then he's much less then, because now he has to fight Collins and Hunter.
Well, he'll step. Yeah, that's true. I was thinking like because Jalen Johnson's getting a ton of run, and he stinks.
It's just a mess. I have a Bay rare, so it's dead.
So do I. So do I. Most of my cards, man, just got traded.
Yeah, it's no good.
It weirdly opens up, like it's just gonna open up more for Bogey and Ivy and who am I forgetting? In Detroit.
Boggy, don't be surprised if there's something after the deadline on him.
A buyout.
I mean, I'm beyond. Well, he just re-upped, so I don't know if they can buy it out. But I don't know. Like him not moving is really, really weird. Like really weird.
He's got a lot more on his contract. No, he's expiring. Yeah, I don't get that. Buy him out. Come on down to Cleveland Town, buddy.
Yeah, somebody should have gone and got him. That's a weird one.
That's
okay. I mean, I think anybody going to Atlanta right now, Atlanta's just a disaster. So
yeah,
in terms of usage, who's going to play over McDaniels in Charlotte? Who's backup for? Because they got rid of Plumlee and McDaniels. I know I'm jumping ahead, so obviously
you're fine.
Going to benefit.
Is Kai Jones going to step in finally?
That's what I was just wondering. Well, I mean, he should get minutes if nothing else.
Oh, Nick Richards,
Williams. Well, they're all kind of like more centery, so maybe they just play like
PJ.
Oh, PJ Washington's still there. They didn't get rid of him?
No.
Okay, there you go. Never mind then. So they'll start PJ Washington at 4.
And then when Oubre comes back.
Oh my God, Oubre and Haywood. God, that team sucks.
Yeah, they're bad.
Yeah. All right. So there's that. McDaniels didn't actually open up really anything.
Interesting. The Gary Payton trade was hilarious more than anything, but that's not.
I know it's so weird.
It's not going to move the needle.
Well, I mean, Golden State wanted him back, so
yeah. Bruno Fernando, another guy I had. I don't think.
Well, you missed. Whoa! You missed over James Wiseman. Come on.
Do we care about James? Right that's true. They are.
Yeah,
he's starting right away.
They're 100%. They are 100% going to kick the tires on him for a couple weeks. I bought one. We're just gonna get to see. He was on too good of a team that all of his defensive deficiencies and not reading the game well was a problem. And Detroit really doesn't care about winning right now. So it's if Detroit cared about winning, I mean, it's so weird. Like you hold on to Bogdanovich, which is kind of like a winning move, but you get rid of Sadiq Bey, which is a losing move. And then you bring in Wiseman, which is a losing move. So I just assume that you don't care to win. Thus, Wiseman's going to get some role. He's going to put up some numbers.
And he's on an L10 of 11 to start.
Yeah, that's why I bought him right away.
Yeah.
So, I think he'll be very interesting for the short run. We just need to see. I will just say this. One thing I've learned in football and just in DFS in general, if you are like buying like Wiseman rares or Wiseman super rares or anything like that, make sure you are reading the coach speak and the reporters afterwards. Because just because he puts up 25 and 10 does not mean that he had a good game. Because the biggest problem that Kerr had with him was his defensive liabilities and not understanding how to do like the drop technique on pick and rolls and things like that. So you just got to be careful.
Right.
So, I know we got to speed through, but I think we got through some of the big ones. Let's rapid fire.
Eric Gordon, it's going to take a while for him to adjust. I still think he's got some upside, but there's a ton of guys there doing the same thing. So
agreed.
It is what it is. John Wall's getting cut.
That was so funny.
Luke Canard in Memphis.
I think it's a nice piece, but I mean, it doesn't change his value or anything. I think it's the same type of role.
Yeah, and just makes Conchar worse.
Right. Well, Conchar was already fading, but yeah.
Danny Green, hopefully he gets bought out and comes to the Cavs.
That would be a really good move. Josh Richardson, I think, is really interesting.
Yes.
For New Orleans, but the problem is you got to let him slide back down because he was getting really good games in San Antonio. But could be a guy down the stretch that they rely on a lot.
Better version of Devontae Graham in that same spot, just a usage gunner off the bench.
Yeah.
Better shots for Josh Richardson, I think, but whatever.
What are your so what are your thoughts on Plumlee?
I mean, he's just going to deputize Zubac, but he's taking a big step back in minutes. It's going to take him a while, but I mean,
it's not a big step back. That's the problem. So here's the thing. It just makes him and Zubac both unplayable. So Zubac came out. They actually asked, one of the beat reporters that asked about a week and a half ago, is Zubac playing too many minutes? And Zubac actually said yes.
Interesting.
Yeah, it became obvious he can't shoulder that many minutes. He's much better in the 20 to 24 minute role. So that's why they need to get an actual good center to back up to fill those minutes.
Instead of Moses Brown.
I mean, right, exactly. Because then you can't play Moses Brown more than 8 to 10 minutes. Yeah. So you get a real one. So, I mean, it'll be, it just sucks because, this from projections. You can only get so many points in a minute.
Yeah.
So if you only are going to play a project for 22 to 24 minutes, it's hard to ever trust you for like pure crazy upside.
So obviously you take a bunch of minutes away from Zubac, but if you knock him down to 24, then you're putting 16 on Plumlee. Do you think that's where he settles? Do you think he plays a little closer to just like a 24-24?
No, I think, because you probably have some times too where you maybe even play like small ball with Kawhi at 4, Morris at 5 type of thing.
Morris was the guy I was going to ask about.
I just think, it makes the Clippers just like what they were before, which is you really don't like anybody there unless Kawhi or PG are out, and then you start divvying stuff up. But,
sure.
Here's like the craziest thing about Silver is in like any DFS or fantasy game is the better the team is, the worse isn't it? A lot of times it is for your output.
Exactly. And that's why a lot of my guys got traded. That's why a lot of, I was just like, I had a bunch of guys who were soaking up usage on bad teams, and those are the guys who get traded. And now
that's why Wiseman's like really interesting because he went from a really, really good team to a bad team that wants to test him out. So they're going to give him his shot. So other one we didn't talk about, I'll let you do. Do you want to explain the hype around Mark Williams?
Yeah, so Plumlee is gone. And Mark Williams is an extremely efficient player, and that's what excites us about him. He's going to step into bigger minutes. I think PJ Washington's actually been pretty efficient too, if I remember correctly. But
Hmm.
Mark
Hmm.
Williams, especially, just because he's on a lower L10 than he will eventually get to, it's a pretty easy walking double double, I would say, and he does it fairly quickly. So with more minutes,
With block upside.
yeah, a lot of block upside, and that's what generally makes people pop in my upside projections. So that's why we love him a lot. Because
Yep.
if he does what
And
he's
super
normally going
low.
to do, yeah, if he does what he's normally going to do with points and rebounds, and then he has a big blocks game, then all of a sudden you've got a massive overperformer. So
Yeah, we have some centers that pop.
yeah,
Mark Williams, James Wiseman, I think are the two short run guys that right away pop. And then obviously keep a look. It's Fridays we're doing this. Probably won't be up too relevant before break, but make sure that you're watching all the guys that aren't in the towns or haven't been past their final medicals or haven't gotten final clearance to play. It might be one more weekend of pure value because of the trade deadline. So
fair enough. Fair enough.
cool.
All right.
That was fun.
Yeah, man. It was chaos.
This is big, guys.
It was big. It is big. It's big for my gallery because I don't even know how to play anymore. I don't even know
to
who I have
reshuffle
available.
the tires.
Yeah.
Yeah, wild.
It is. I kind of expected it, but I didn't expect it to the degree that it happened. So we'll see what happens. Hopefully some of my guys normalize pretty quickly, but I don't know about you, but it might be a rough couple of weeks for me.
Yeah, I'm just accepting. I think, one thing I was thinking on the way over here was just that I think one thing I haven't taken, I love doing the talking NBA and stuff like that, but I really haven't sat down and really planned out the depth strategy. It's just kind of guys that exist and stuff like that. And I do think the better way to attack the game is to actually have if A happens, then B is good. And I think that's where, you really can take advantage of the game in Excel.
Yes. Yeah, it is. And it'll probably take us a couple of weeks to recalibrate some of those too with all these moves. So we'll keep an eye on it. We'll keep you updated over at Sorare FP. We got it all going down in Discord, and we're learning very quickly because we got 100 test cases coming to us every week and being like, what's going to happen here, and we have to figure it out pretty quickly. So that's what we're going to be doing. We thank you for tuning in, and we will talk to you very, very shortly.